The way you travel, think, and most crucially spend drastically alters after you cross the billionaire threshold. The well-known CEO of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, is obscenely wealthy, and he flaunts it everywhere he goes. With his monthly salary, he can live like a king because he is so rich already. In 2017, the Meta CEO earned nothing less than $1.7 million every hour. So, how did Mark Zuckerberg spend $96 billion? Let's find out. One thing every healthy billionaire does is have an impressive real estate portfolio. While other wealthy business people and A-listers are known to fork out a few $1 million on huge houses, Mark Zuckerberg takes it a step further. The tech guru spends more than $59 million on two adjacent Lake Tahoe properties. In early 2019, he purchased two side-by-side mansions on Lake Tahoe, totaling a whopping sum of $59 million. While the price tag is higher than probably anyone could ever imagine paying for a vacation home or two, it's just a drop in the bucket for a man who is valued at around $70 billion. The pair of properties total around 10 acres, have a total of 15 bedrooms, and include numerous piers to house multiple boats. The smaller mansion, called Carousel Estate, is a charming Tudor-style home built back in the early 1930s. While the larger of the two, the other house, called Brushwood Estate, was built in the 1960s and has two adjoining guest houses for visitors to enjoy the beautiful and quiet surroundings. The Lake Tahoe company comprises a tiny area of his real estate collection. The Lake Tahoe neighborhood is also home to the family of late Hewlett-Packard founder Bill Hewlett and the family of the late publishing icon Charles McClatchy. Altogether, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan have purchased 10 properties in Palo Alto, San Francisco, the Hawaiian island of Kauai, and of course Lake Tahoe. He purchased his 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom home in the Crescent Park neighborhood of Palo Alto, Silicon Valley in 2011 for a paltry $7 million, then proceeded to spend an eye-popping $43 million to purchase 4 surrounding homes. There is no way his neighbors can peek into this kind of building. In 2014, he purchased 2 properties on the Hawaiian island of Kauai for an incredible $100 million. Yeah, he handed over that whopping sum for 2 properties spanning 750 acres of an isolated stretch of a Hawaiian beach. You can tell that Mark Zuckerberg loves having vacation homes near water. 3 years later, in 2017, the couple spent an additional $45 million to add 89 acres to their properties. Zuckerberg also reportedly paid $66 million for the Kahuaina Plantation, which is located adjacent to Pila'a Beach, an isolated oceanfront property that is 393 acres. Amazing, don't you think? The former sugarcane plantation includes 2,500 feet of beach and has a working organic farm that is home to goats and turtles. The plantation property was approved to accommodate 80 homes, but the Zuckerberg family plans to build just 1 house. Well, it looks like Mark and Priscilla are all about preserving the natural beauty of the Hawaiian landscape. Now, let's journey back to the mainland. Zuckerberg also owns a 5,500 square foot townhouse in San Francisco, which he reportedly purchased for $10 million in 2013. The home was built in 1928 and it certainly needed a few renovations. The Facebook founder reportedly spent more than $1.6 million in renovations, including remodeling the kitchen and bathroom, as well as adding a wine room, greenhouse, and media room. 10 houses and 1 plantation? How can just one person have the money to achieve all of this? Well, it's Meta. Let's get into the backstory quickly. He's been Mr. Facebook since he was a college kid majoring in psychology, writing code, beer in one hand, struggling with insomnia, and orchestrating low-level computer hacks. Back at Harvard, he wrote a program called Course Match, which assisted students to choose their subjects based on what courses their friends or crushes were enrolled in. With a minor success, he happened to have his next piece of software that gained real traction in the other community in the Harvard community, and it was called Face Match. It was essentially a digital Who's Hotter platform. From there, Zuckerberg met Divya Narendra and the Winklevoss twins in 2002, who pitched the idea of a Harvard Connection, an Harvard-only social networking service. Well, Zuckerberg ran away with their idea and made it his own on February 4, 2004. He registered the domain as thefacebook.com, but later shortened it to just Facebook. From there, Facebook began to expand in different countries, including Columbia, Yale, Stanford, and then everywhere else on the planet. He ditched Harvard after a sophomore year to concentrate on the site, which proved to be a masterstroke. Friends who met in real life could now connect and communicate with each other online, and at the time, it was something new and revolutionary. The users grew, likewise the cash every year. Since Facebook went public in 2012, Zuckerberg has added an average of $9 billion to his net worth. $9 billion every year. That's amazing. While Zuckerberg has forked out millions of dollars on houses, yachts, planes, and cars, the majority of his money over the past decade and a half has been forked back into his pride and joy, Facebook, now Meta. One of the greatest tech minds of our time isn't naive enough to think that Facebook is invincible. You know, competitors raise left, right, front, and back regularly. So rather than competing with a new threat on the horizon, Zuckerberg takes a different approach to just buying out his competitors. In 2012, he bought Instagram for $1 billion. 2 years later, he acquired WhatsApp for an astounding $19 billion. Oculus VR cost him $2.3 billion in 2014. Accenture cost him $20 million. Frienddeed was purchased in 2008 for $47.5 million. And just recently, in June 2020, Facebook Mapillary, a street-level imaging startup, was taken down too. You know what that means? Zuckerberg is not always buying companies. Sometimes out of the goodness of his heart, he's giving away parcels of cash to well-meaning non-profit organizations and charities. In 2015, Zuckerberg gave $100 million to help improve the public school system in Newark, New Jersey. His desire to aid the education system doesn't stop there. He also kindly provided $5 million in down payment assistance for the teachers to become homeowners at an incomprehensibly high price in the Silicon Valley area. If you think about these acts, you'll see that they are incredibly selfless contributions. But remember, Zuckerberg could give every single living person in the United States $100 and still have more than half of his astronomical net worth left over. He also pledged to donate 50% of his net worth to charitable causes before his time on planet Earth comes to an end. While he's still here, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, however, have launched the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, a foundation that provides funding for research, development, and engineering projects, and hopes to eradicate diseases and support justice. While we certainly applaud him for these ventures, it won't be wrong to say that a man of his wealth spends so big, and we're talking really big case on Ulysses, a $150 million monster yacht that is 350 feet long. Ulysses is truly something else. It boasts a large swimming pool, jacuzzi, sauna steam room, massage room, formal dining area, enormous wine cellar, and a master suite that would rival the finest hotel rooms for that extra touch of prestige. It also comes with its very own private helicopter, a separate 78-foot boat, 4x4 car, and a motorcycle. The estimated monthly maintenance cost of the yacht alone is $2 million. So if Mark is not sailing away in the seven seas, he's jetting away from the coast to coast and on a chartered private jet. While it saves time and hassle, the reality is that a man of his notoriety and wealth doesn't have a choice. Meta says that the private plane service is necessary for Zuckerberg due to the specific threat to his safety. In 2016 alone, the chartered flights cost $871,000. Multiply that over a decade, and the number soars into the tens of millions, while he hops in the private plane for any work-related trips, be it domestic or international. Mark also relies on this service for personal travel, and that includes top-of-the-line luxury-centric vacations. So where does a man who can afford to go anywhere on the entire planet choose to spend his very few days off over the years? The CEO has been spotted sometimes with his better half and sometimes without in Vietnam, France, and Japan, just to name a few. In 2017, Mark and Chan celebrated their 5th anniversary with a romantic trip to rural Maine because of the safety concerns surrounding them. Traveling isn't as straightforward a thing for them as you might think, and from the period of 2014 to 2018, Mark spent nothing less than $15 million for his protection, and the number has doubled as the days go by. Mark doesn't just have a security team. He also has a PR team consisting of people who help handle the marketing side of Meta and ensure they keep things positive. He, however, doesn't spend so much on fashion, as he has just a set of unique and simple outfits that he can rock every day. But don't assume the signature outfit is cheap just because it's simple. His designs come from Bruno Cucinelli and they cost up to $400. Zuckerberg is also known for driving inexpensive cars, even though he can afford more than 2,000 Lamborghinis. Thanks for watching.